this week, we're going to continue from last week, and I think what's really struck me as we were leaving last week was when Mr. Afari mentioned that when he first moved here and he was going around on a boat touring the place, all the major properties he saw belonged to non-Ghanaians. Nothing wrong with that, but he was sort of curious as to why there was no Ghanaian presence in the land that has so much potential, that was going to blossom. And he said then that he was going to change that. And if you haven't visited this place, when you do, you realize that yes, he has changed that. Show some love, man. In the meantime, let me have the nerve and the audacity to one more time welcome the owner of the place to his own house. Put your hands together, Mr. Sammuel Afari. Well, it's good to have you back, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to welcome you again.
I love it.
Yeah, looking bright as usual.
Thank you.
How does it feel, though? I mean, you know, you've done great, man. In your own private moments, you sometimes think, hey, Charlie, me pay many, you know, something like that. You're so unassuming, though. Was that the nature? That's how you were brought up?
Yeah, brought up, yes, also, and I'll come to that, but I think I'm probably good. I'm now trying to be great. The best books I've ever read in my life is from Jim Collins, and it talks about good to great.
Good to great.
And he says that good is the enemy of great.
Oh, wow.
So probably I'm good, but I want to be great. And that's going to be a journey. And that journey, you will be part of it.
Oh, wow. But I like it.
Yes.
Wow. Good is an enemy of great, huh?
Good is the enemy of great. You know, it describes level 4 managers, level 3, level 2, level 1, and then level 5. But it makes a clear distinction about what is good and what is great. And therefore, I think when we all read a book and we begin to take steps to become great, I think that's what developing countries lack.
We settle for great. In Ghana, since we even settle for mediocrity, not even good.
Yeah,
we often settle for.
I think KSM is because of because Ghana we're in a very comfortable zone. I'm a young man, but from what I see, I think we've always been in a comfortable zone. We haven't had wars, we haven't had economic blockades, we haven't had environmental degradation, catastrophe, whether it's cyclone or whether it's hurricane and all that we having. So we are just a very blessed country. What we forget is to take advantage of that, of these blessings, and turn it into something.
It's rather making us complacent.
Yeah, we are very complacent, and everyone is walking like that. And I think, but coming back to your question, I come from a very humble beginning. I had an adoptive mom. Grew up in one of the poorest areas in Ghana.
Where's your
I grew up in my biological mom. I didn't met, but then due to some complication in the marriage, she decided to hold on and you know, to see how it goes with me, even though she was monitoring me from a very far and just to bring peace. So I grew up with one very, very beautiful woman called Mary Sapuma, but also I'm sure one of the poorest human beings I've ever seen in life, and I love her too much. So she brought me up in a gang community called Ayalolo, around the timber market,
that's where you
around the Kotolante, Ayalolo, Jamestown area. You know, that's where I grew up and attended the SDA primary school. Now it's primary and JSS. By my time, it was a preparatory school. That's where I grew up. I did my primary education, did secondary education.
You were born, where were you born though?
Accra. Yeah, so I was born around that area.
Same area.
Same area.
Really?
Azuma Ness and all these guys grew up, and you had to fight minimum 2 to 4 times a day. You know?
Were you engaged in fights?
Yeah. So the fighting spree started when I was probably 8 years old. After school, you have to go and work. You know.
Yeah.
I started by selling ice water. Move on to sell black and white. You know, they had this toughest black and white.
Yeah, the black and white. Yeah.
You know, I moved to shoe shine. I moved to selling.
You did shoe shine?
Yeah, I did shoe shine in the Tudu Ministries area. Also, I graduated and I became a King Kong those days, what we used to call a pum store. So you start with the ice water, biscuits and all that, but you end up by being a pum store owner.
Really?
You know, a pum. So
so
you had your blade, you know, you sell blade, polish, padlocks and all that. That meant that you had graduated.
You're the big leagues.
Yeah, but I've been fortunate in life too. I have to be very honest. I'm sure God knew that without the support of society and all that, I couldn't continue with my education. So from day one, I've had scholarships throughout my life.
Really?
You know, the primary education, the Seventh-day Adventist Church gave me scholarships, so I went through, did my secondary and tertiary education in Cuba, did my master's in Germany, all
scholarship,
all free of charge. And I really appreciate all the people that made it because, as I mentioned, without this scholarship and assistance from society, there was no way I was gonna come out of that. And I still go to my constituency, Odududu, beautiful area, and
you still have childhood friends.
Childhood friends, and friends from my age mates to the older folks, and I love it.
Oh wow! And your adoptive mom, she's
my adoptive mom, unfortunately, passed out in 1995. One of the most miserable points in my life, because I wish she was alive today to also enjoy the benefits of fruits.
So she didn't see all of this.
I was by then a national service student when she passed, and as I mentioned, she brought me up well. I think so. She brought me up in a very very difficult area, and as a single mom, I believe she did the best. I owe her everything in life, you know. And then I did my secondary and tertiary education in Cuba. Also, the next.
How did you end up in Cuba?
Yeah, there was a scholarship program in the country. I think as a result of some bilateral agreement between Ghana and Cuba, or Ghana and some other states, including France, Russia, Czechoslovakia, and so on and so forth. And I had the opportunity to write the exams, and I qualified and made a journey to.
So how long were you in Cuba?
I was in Cuba for between 7.5 years to 8 years.
Really?
Yeah, did my secondary and tertiary education there.
So I guess you speak Spanish. That was not.
I think I speak better Spanish than English. You know?
Oh, really?
I wish we could do this in Spanish.
I was only bragging one time. I had somebody who also knew Spanish. I said there's only one expression that I knew in Spanish.
Yeah.
Necesita ayuda.
You always need that.
You know.
Yeah, it means that you need help.
You need help.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did my secondary education in tertiary, and I would say it was, I love it. I love it for two reasons. And one, today, on hindsight, I look and say, wow, a country very small in nature, an island, lacks all the resources that Ghana has, and still money to give to their people, an illiteracy rate today below or above 95%.
Wow.
A small island that could give its people good health, for it to be rated between 1 and 3 in the whole world. A very poor country, you know, but they are able to give their people that education and that health status. What else could you ask your country of? And till today, that is what inspires me, motivates me to be able to do more with less, especially when I look at a country like Cuba that has nothing, but it has been able to produce the best doctors, best engineers, and so on and so forth in this way. Secondly, as poor as they are, and Cuba realizing its weaknesses, has managed to drop a curriculum that combines theory and practicals, and therefore when we're in school there, theory and practicals carried the same weight. Yes.
Really?
So whatever is being taught in the classroom,
you have to go and do
practical and have it in your practical undertakings as well. And for these two reasons, I love that country, and I wish every Ghanaian will have the opportunity to visit that country
Wow.
for more than 10 days. A country that is doing more with less. And I think when you have that background and you come to Ghana, like I mentioned, the sky is not the limit. Everything is possible in this country.
And so you went to Germany from Cuba? Or you came
Yes,
back to-
after Cuba, I came to Ghana in 1993 because under the program, you're supposed to come have your national service undertaking for both undergraduate and then graduate. So I did 2 years national service program in the Western region, a company called Super Industrial Plantation Limited. By then, it's a collaboration between the African Development Bank and the Ghana government to come out with the first pulp and paper factory, I think in West Africa. So ADB put in about $20 million, Ghana put in about $20 million. And then I was in the biggest department, the silviculture department, because we had to grow trees to be able to pulp them and turn them into paper. So that's my background. Very, very, as I mentioned, very, very poor, humble. And it's because of that that most people do not know me, because I love to operate behind the scenes. So a lot of people know the name Afari,
Yeah.
but they don't know the face.
Yeah.
And those who know the face, they don't know the Afari, the name.
Well, not
And I
anymore.
think-
We put you out there.
Yes.
But anyway, and, everybody who knows you, one of the things they call you, well, they use the word humble. I like the word unassuming, but it's very true. You know, you, like you said, you're good, you want to be great, but even in the goodness that you are, you know, you seem very, very unassuming. Was that part of the upbringing? Is that something that, you know?
Probably, as I've mentioned already, I came from a very, you know, I don't know, I have to be honest with you, when I was a kid, anytime we were prepared to visit other areas, whether it's Nima or it's Dansuma Estate or it's a Brie or something, that's the only opportunity I had to have new dresses and shoes. To Nima and to all these places. So that should tell you that Alolo or Akutulante and Jamestown, these areas were very easy. I mean, I'm talking about the 70s and 80s. From there, I went to Cuba. Another very, very, I mean, in the world. When I came back, I went to work in Dabuasi, a village in the Western region, and then to Cape Coast just 1 year. And then I went to Samaboy, the northern portion of the Western region. So I've been working my working life has actually occurred in very poor and rural areas, and probably has contributed in shaping my life. One, to get back to get closer to nature, even when I'm in the city, and so on and so forth. So I have to be honest, I'm extremely proud that I come from that background. I have a deeper understanding of the city life of people today, because I've been dealing with people who are very honest, open, straightforward, and natural.
Yeah. Wow. Put your hands together, man. That's good. Let me pick up from the point you were making about, was it exponential tourism?
Yeah.
And let's take it from there again. What was it about the?
I think I call it experiential tourism.
Experiential, okay.
And this is a statement that I actually got from one of my mentors called Chairman Ampedu. He used to work for Conservation International and then later on to Talo. I'm not sure about where he's working now, if he's still with Talo, but this is to him. He really opened my eyes and enlightened me in that direction, and that had to do with experiential tourism. The challenge that confronts this nation is the fact that our tourism is not experiential, and therefore, like the Ghanaians say, been there, done it, and then that's it. I mean, if you take our tourism, it's been Cape Coast Castle, Elimina Castle, and then the Kakum Walkway, and the cultural activities, you know. These are all beautiful cultural activities, but the point is that how do we enjoy and experience it? Today, you go to the Cape Coast Castle, they show you the dungeons, how the people used to eat, how the boat used to ferry them, and then they're gone. Now let me speak about the experiential part. Now Ghana has a program. Once a year or twice a year, there's a slave voyage. It's marketed all over the world. that once a year or twice a year, Ghana has a slave voyage. All the tourists outside, also from Ghana, we arrive in Cape Coast. They prep us what happened during the slave era. We go and live in the dungeons. They throw our food to us. We dress like the slaves. They put the shackles and all that. Ghana has built a boat. And then 4 a.m., you have the Asafu drum, you know, playing their war songs and all that. And then as a tourist, you leave the dungeon, you go down, you go into the boat, and then you have some 200, 300, or 400 nautical miles, and then you go, and then you come back. That is what I call experiential tourism. Everyone experience what the slaves experienced, and that would have brought people into Ghana to experience the same. Children yet unborn will come and experience that slave voyage, close and similar to what our ancestors or take the cultural, the festivals, the culture and all that. Instead of me coming and just watching a chief sitting in a palanquin with his regalia and all that, now just that's what is happening now. Let's see the experiential aspect. You come twice a year, a giraffe festival in a breed, and then you come, and then after see the chief being all that, you can also rent the palanquin and all that. You can dress all that. You sit in and then they play all that, and then you go 100 meters and back. You've experienced it. Now, let's talk about the financial aspect. Whether it's the Cape Coast Castle, there are some people who make money, the photographers will make money, the boat owners will make money, everyone in the organization will make money, and Ghana makes money. Today, who makes money? There's no money being made. Then when you come to the palanquin, you dressing as a chief, those renting the kente and all that will make money. Those carrying you for the 100 meters will make money. Those taking photographs will make money, and so on and so forth. I believe till we create policies, first of all the laws, the policies, we create the activities, and we support the private sector in delivering this, I don't think Ghana is going to make it when it comes to tourism. I'm saying that the nation must support those already involved in tourism and those who want to engage in tourism. I mean, if you go to some areas in the Caribbean countries, some countries there, the nation assists indigenous tourism entrepreneurs with between $500,000 to $5 million. Between $500,000 to $5 million, the state support indigenous hoteliers and tourism owners, because there's the political will. There's a deeper understanding of the fact that tourism is what is going to make these nations. Dubai today, in the last 5 to 10 years, is see their budget in tourism, because they are shifting from oil to tourism. But there is a political will. The same political will that we will give to a free SHS or health insurance, we need to give same to tourists, because it's not rocket science. We have to just go on the internet and find out how making gold, how we've taken billions
and
from tourism.
Just the example you gave, and I'm amazed by this experiential, you know, the voyage thing. I can see millions of African Americans come to experience. Even some whites might want to have the feel. Wow.
Ghana tourism is just hotel. Hotel, they have the best of hotels in their countries. Why would they come here just to see
a hotel?
A hotel. We need to experience it. We need to take tourism the same way, or probably even better. How we've taken oil, how we've taken gold, how we've taken gold and our mineral resources, how we've taken timber and our natural resources, and so on and so forth. Because tourism will make you the money, and it won't destroy your environment. And we don't need to go far. Our own country in the Southeastern African countries, Kenya is making so much money from tourism. Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, they are making money from tourism.
What do they understand that we don't?
They have a deeper understanding of their environment. The savannah land. That for us will probably be a curse. We always sit here and say, oh, the north is a poor area, the north is whatever, whatever. But they have our northern vegetation as their main vegetation in their country. And when you have that vegetation, then you have to appreciate the content of what we call the forest composition, you know, or nature's composition. What do you have in that environment? Animals. How do you project these animals and make your money? That's all. We have the same thing here. In Nadan, when you go into the sea, blue marlin is being fished. So why don't we bring people to come and fish blue marlin? How many places in the world where you find the river meeting the ocean? The estuary, we have it in Nadan. How have we packaged that commercially to attract people to come in and see? How have we packaged our mangrove forest and its content, the crabs, the snails, the shrimps and all that? How have we packaged it as a nation to bring, to compete with the Brazil? Because people are getting fed up with the Amazon in Brazil. They want to see something else. What can you offer in West Africa? What can you offer in Ghana? For sure. Now what is happening is that we have something that the Southern Eastern African countries do not have. They don't have political stability. They are battling terrorism. So why don't we see that as an advantage and make sure that we bring them here? Because we have political stability. We don't have terrorists disturbing us. We have the forest, various, too many forest zones. The Western region will give us a different kind of forest and its wildlife resources. The Ashanti region will give us different. The Northern region will give us different. The coastal areas will give. This is what God has given us. How do we take advantage of what God has given us freely to develop this nation? And for me, it is a political decision.
Show some love, man. Show some love. And on that note, we'll pause for the cause. When we come back, there's more to come. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
We are back. Oh, I tell you folks, I'm enjoying this, man. I call it, I don't know, tourism 101. This is more than 101. This is the advanced level of tourism, you know. Experiential, experience the feel. I love it. So, speaking of these ideas that you have, you know, of course, Aqua Safari, you know, I experienced the estuary, by the way, you know, seeing the river and the sea meet, you know, and things like that. But you have your eyes also set other places. And for that here, there's another development coming up called Safari Valley. It's huge, folks. It's still in the making, but just take a quick second look at this sights and sounds of Safari Valley. Take a look at this. I mean, this is where are they? I mean, this is awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is all a part of engaging the whole tourism thing. Because from what I hear, you're going to have wildlife and everything in here.
Yeah. We're going to have. I mean, of course, as I mentioned, we've traveled around the world. We've met people. We've seen beautiful things, and the question is always, how could we bring this same experience to our countries? You know, and that's how all this started. But the point is that there are so many beautiful areas in Ghana. It can't be only Ada. So we have to look elsewhere, and with the experience and lessons that we've gained from here, you know, go to other places. Here, I would say that the major issue is about having the right people in the right team. You have to choose your partner very, very well. And I'll use the opportunity to talk about, people know that Afari, you know, but there is the other half of me.
Okay.
They call Mr. Richard in Century.
Okay.
He's currently the general manager of Summertest Steam and Plywood Company Limited in the Western region. Actually, we own everything together. And we used to have some land in the Okra district, you know, after Ebri, Mampong, you know, Dewu, Ebru, Edukrom, that area, for rubber plantation. And anytime we visited that area, we said, Richard, I don't think we've been trained only to use such environment for rubber plantation. The location is so beautiful, the environment is so serene, the people are so wonderful, and all we came here to do is to grow rubber. Richard, I don't think so. We have to think about something else. And that is when we remembered something that we had read by one chief. I'm not sure of the town he comes from. I think Nandom. Forgive me if it's not Nandom, but it's a Nampunkun Chiri.
Yeah, I remember the name.
I read this statement from under President Kufuor, the Minister for Natural Resources, Professor Kasim Kasanga, giving some speech to the Santiman Council. And it goes that way, if you don't mind. It says that we sent you to the white man's land to steal his brains and come back home to help us develop. Probably you succeeded in stealing his brain, but you came back home to cheat us.
Oh, wow.
I mean, in short, he's saying that all of us, ministers, parliamentarians, technocrats, and what have you, we've all been going schooling outside and all that. But when we come back home, are we doing what we learned in these countries? So me and Richard, we discussed it. Are we just going to plant rubber? Looking at this beautiful environment, what else could we do? And that is how the idea of Safari Valley came to be. And KSM, Safari Valley is going to be the greatest thing to hit West Africa. It's going to be the experience I've been looking for since childhood. We experience wildlife like we've never experienced before. We experience nature like we've never experienced before. We eat organic food like we've never eaten before. Our children will play, and that play, due to the fact that it's closer to nature, I can bet you will be nicer to the play that we send our children to go and enjoy in the Disneyland. Ghana is going to witness Safari Valley, and it's going to be one of the biggest things to hit Ghana in the next century.
Show some love, man. And I believe you. How many acres is it?
We are hitting about 500 acres so far. We started with 26 acres. We are almost 500 acres. We started construction. It's about a year and 3 months. Hopefully, December it will be done. And I'm saying, and I'm going to say it again, it's a legacy that all of us will be proud to be associated with. A legacy, that will be left to our born children, grandchildren, and great-great-great-grandchildren.
Can the church say amen? Amen. Wow. So this drive, this drive that you have It's extraordinary, you know. And they're talking about something that possibly is going to be the leading resort in West Africa.
West Africa hasn't seen anything like Safari Valley before.
Wow.
And it's not just Safari Valley. We've started, actually our vision in the next 5 to 10 years is to be in every region in Ghana. Now we are in Adan, which is part of the Greater Accra region. Safari Valley is part of the Eastern region. 2 months ago, we started one in Sekondi that is called Safari Palms.
Safari?
Palmlands. Safari Palmlands.
Really?
A very, 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 very beautiful resort as well. 2019, we're going to the Ashanti region, Safari Royal Gardens, something like that.
Wow.
We're still discussing the name. Safari Royal Gardens. And then we'll go to Brownfo, to the north. And then our principle, or our theme and concept is going to be everywhere we go, we look at the peculiarity of the environment and the people, and then we design. So it's possible that we'll go to Tamale, and then we'll have just a 12 or 10 or 6 bedroom resort, and it's all about ranching. It's all about gaming and so on and so on. You know, so each region and each place is going to be designed based on the peculiarity of the environment and especially the people living around that area. So the next time we'll be here, we'll be talking about the eighth resort, and I'll be telling you that 2 more to go.
Yeah.
But we're gonna.
It's interesting because Ashanti is all royalty. There's no royalty. So you have a royal safari.
Yeah, you know, so there are funerals and there are culture and all that. So we'll do something around that, and then we'll enjoy it. That's what is important. But as I mentioned, it must benefit those who live around it. It must be able to employ our own people, and it must make sense to the country's economy. If not, then we are not interested in that. We are not doing it for money, because how much money have we invested here? Up to about $15 million. We are investing up to about $25 million in Safari Valley. I mean, if our motivation was just money, we just use that money to import paracetamol, biscuit, nails, and whatever, and would have made that money. Yeah. But you know, the people
do you
are
get
the centrality of everything that we do.
Yeah, you get a sense that you are pioneering an area, because the whole idea of a Ghanama even just taking a vacation to go to, it's like so new.
Yeah.
You know, is this something you're trying to introduce or reawakening that part of us to understand?
Yes, it's very important. You know, the Ghanaian is moving from the lands, you know, our hands on the land, farming, taking crabs, snails and all that, medicine, trapia, chewing sticks and all that. And then the Ghanaian becomes an entrepreneur. At some part of the Ghanaian life, we became traders. We've been trading very, very well. A lot of the big names that we hear in the past were traders. And then now the entrepreneurial spirit is coming back. But entrepreneurship, and when it cascades down, becomes a platform or the brain framework, and it comes with stress. Because what is an entrepreneur? There are so many definitions for an entrepreneur, but I would say that someone sent that to me. It says that he's the adventurous risk taker who is often misunderstood, but manages to create a job for himself and then the other people. That is entrepreneurship. And then they say economics, so many definitions of economics. I'm a natural resource economist, but it says that the behavior of people in relation to scarce resources. You know, so you have to put all these things together and then have a large workforce, whether it's a youth or not, but most importantly, it should be the youth, to be creative, to see what we have and how we can turn this into an economic potential in helping our people. When we don't succeed in doing that, then as a nation, I'm not sure where we're going. And when we identify these people, as a nation, we have to support them Because I kind of feel that everyone is talking about the private sector being the engine of economic growth. But actually, what are we seeing in developing countries, in Africa, and then in Ghana? We here, Aqua, we've been able to create livelihood for about 1,500 people around here. Even if you have 300, 400 employees, and each one has a wife or a husband and 2 or 3 kids, that's the livelihood that we've created. KSM, tell me, has NDC created that here? Has NPP created that here? No. I'll be able to tell you because I've been come to Adan since 1998. But Aqua Afari, we've come here and we've created that livelihood. You know, so can you imagine if there are 10,000s of the Aqua Afaris, you can imagine Ghana's problems will be solved. We don't need any president or any minister or anything to come and talk too much. We will feel it, you know. But unfortunately, we do not help our own people. And that is what countries that want to succeed, they do that in helping their own people. Talk about the credit system, talk about the cost of energy, and so on and so forth. The question is that, are we able to recover these cost increases in pricing our product? And if we are not, what is the state doing? If the hospitality industry is not able to recover its cost increases in pricing of its product, then it means that that industry is going to die. So what is the state intervention? And that is what states do. If you permit me, I will say that when I was studying in Germany, I was so surprised. An electrical engineer called Abdullah, he opened a club called Motown. After running for so many years, he had 17 employees. He said he couldn't pay all the 17, so he was laying 10 off and he was going to keep 7. The state minister for finance and his directors visited this friend of mine for 10 days in looking for solutions that will make my friend Abdullah keep all the 17 and still manage his club. And after that, they came with a nice program. Okay, you keep all the 17, but those that you want to serve, the state is going to pay half of their salary. You add the remaining half, and then you go. You know, so you can't have a nation and you just leave it like that and you expect it to work and employ your own people. You have to put in interventions. You have to put in mitigation measures to make sure that your own succeed and help the others. But when you leave your own to be in there, banking, a bank, there's no help from the state. Import duty, there's no help from the state. Energy, there's no help from the state. So how do you expect us to manage? We even have to invest in public infrastructure for which we pay taxes for. We have to invest in roads, we have to invest in water, we have to invest in our own electricity and transformer and all that, and we have to invest in our own internet, telephone and all that. I mean, how? You know, you expect the state to have done all these things, and then they come and lobby you that Aqua Afari, we've seen what you've done in Ada. Can you come to our region? Can you come to our district? Can you come to our locality to help train the people and to help have an asset like that where all of us will be proud of? That is the question. Are we doing that?
Wow.
And I think this is the question that we must ask our leaders.
Awesome. Speaking of, because I remember somebody was telling me once, I said, that's what we always say. The private sector is the engine of growth. But he says, well, the engine needs oil.
Yes.
It needs fuel. It needs lubrication.
Water and all that.
You know, so if you're not providing the private sector with that, then how does it become the engine of growth? And that's what you're talking about, basically. That wow, that is just. So what keeps you going in the passion to keep going?
It's a difficult one, KSM. It's a difficult one, and then sometimes we lose vim. We lose vim. Are we doing the right thing or not? But I think that what keeps our team going is the fact that we are not motivated by money. We are motivated by the transformational framework of the people that I see working here, those that visit here, the community that lives around this, and the fact that the government is enjoying and making money from us. When all these platforms close, then we are happy. Because I can tell you for a fact how many people we have employed, how much we've paid so much, how much we've paid to the local authority, how much the community has benefited, and how much the government has benefited from us. And then be able to tell you that with the absence of Aqua Safari, this would not exist. And that is what is keeping us moving. Left to financial benefit alone, like I mentioned, we will be importing paracetamol or biscuit or meals, roofing sheet, and so on. Indomie to sell. But we are happy that our investment touches and relates directly to the people. I'm saying that without the people's benefits, we won't be here. So far as there will be people who will be investing.
Put your hands together, man. Oh, man. Oh, man, folks, man. It's been great, man. Yeah. It's been great, hanging out here. It's been great seeing what you're doing, and it's amazing. For me, I call this show the show that celebrates Ghanaian ingenuity. You know, when we support somebody like you, it's like you've been saying, we have to support our own.
That is a point.
You know.
That is a point.
And so, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm very, 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 very proud of what you're doing. You and your group. It's absolutely amazing, man. The kind of dedication you have, and saying, well, it's not just money issue here. No. It's a legacy here. Yeah. You know, it's transforming societies. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing, and I wish I could give you Star of the Order of the Volta, or one of those. Oh, you deserve it. You're a shareholder. I'm a shareholder. Yes. Matiana. But Chief, one more time. Stick around, folks. We've had a great time, and I'd like to say one more big thank you to Ms. Afari and to great Aqua Safari Resort and the upcoming Safari Valley coming soon. And
Safari Palmlands.
And Safari Palmlands. And Safari Royal.
Yes.
And the one in Kibu called Safari Monsoon. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.